last one, so I'm basically just going to re-explain everything, probably better than I did last time since I'm doing it again. Alright, so, let's start with stimulus checks. Firstly, if you ever want information on the stimulus checks, on what's going on with them, Jeff Stein is your man, okay? Jeff Stein is the guy, okay? He's the guy you check. So check his Twitter account. Alright, so basically with this for the past week. So start out with a bill that was just a spending bill, okay, for a department. There was this bill, no stimulus checks whatsoever. And so people are like, hey, Nancy Pelosi, why are you accepting a bill with no stimulus checks? And she went, actually, I'm just going to find that video for you guys, because Nancy snaps at reporter. That's 1 year ago. I want the one that happened. Here.
Yeah. Not to accept Apple last month ago when you said I'm not going to accept Apple.
Look, I'm going to tell you something.
now
Don't characterize what we did before as a mistake, as a preface to your question, if you want an answer. That was not a mistake. It was a decision, and it has taken us to a place where we can do the right thing without other, shall we say, considerations in the legislation that we don't want. Now, that is it. Now, the fact is, I'm very proud of where we are. My chairs have worked very hard on all of this. They were not even happy with a proposal that we made the other day before we saw this proposal. They thought we had come back too small. So it's not about an individual, it's about how we address the needs of the American people. And we have to do it in a scientific way, and we have to do it in a way that recognizes people need food on the table. They need to get their rent paid. They need money in their pockets. They need their unemployment insurance to be there. They do not need a whole cacophony of other things that are on the agenda that have nothing to do with meeting their needs. So we're very pleased at where it is. And as I say, with a Democratic president committed to a scientific solution for this, with the idea that we will have a vaccine, it's a complete game changer from them.
I'd like to point out she's talking about a bill with no checks.
No, I was recognizing you.
Oh, thank you. Joe Biden said that on his first day in office, he will use Title IX to give transgender students access to sports, bathrooms, and locker rooms.
Okay, I think I got the most of it. Yeah, but that was about a bill with no checks in it. So, yeah. Okay, so then Bernie Sanders and other progressive members of the House and the Senate were like, hey, can we do that $1,200 checks thing? That'd be so nice. That'd be a great thing. And so they're like, all right, fine. $600 checks. And everyone was like, that's crap, but we'll go with it. So they passed it. It made its way to the president for him to sign. And then he went, I'm going to cause chaos. So he said
throughout the summer, people need it. It wasn't ridiculously low, ridiculous, not their fault. Ridiculously low, 600. It was China's fault, not their fault.
Ignore that.
I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple. I'm also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items from this legislation and to send me a suitable bill, or else the next administration will have to deliver a COVID relief package, and maybe that administration will be me.
It won't.
And we will get it done. Thank you very much.
Okay, so ignore the last couple parts he said where he thought he was going to win the election. He's not. He lost a lot. 2000. I don't think he actually wants to do that. He just wants to stab Mitch in the back because he's bitter about Mitch saying Biden won. So, and this is a great way to stab Mitch in the back. Throw him under the bus for not giving people money. That'd be great if this works. So, Then Pelosi was like, okay, cool, let's do it. But then she was like, unanimous consent. Okay, it has to pass with unanimous consent. She could have just had it pass completely. But no, she wanted unanimous consent, which led the Hill, which I thought I opened that tab. Guess not. Let me do this real quick. There it is. Yeah, Hill. Hill rejects unanimous consent. Not Hill rejects. GOP rejects and everything. But the House is owned by Democrats. How did that happen? Wouldn't it just pass? No, because she wanted to do it by unanimous consent, which means any one of them could be like, no, and she would come out looking like the good person. I do think she did do the good move here in saying, yes, I agree with you, Trump, even though that's not a popular thing to do, but the unanimous consent thing fucked it up. I agree with intentions, and partially, but also I partially believe she did the unanimous consent thing so she wouldn't have to go full throttle with 2000 and get out of jail for free. But I guess not. Anyway, so that's what's going on. The thing is in limbo. Jeff Stein, check him out. What was that? What? Oh yeah. Unemployment will expire Saturday. Government funding expires Monday. House R's blocked Dem 2K check bill. Senate R leadership says 2K check bill can't even get 60 in the Senate. Unlikely to bring up. No plan to keep government open. So there's that. So that's the updates on the stimulus checks. Alright. Next part. Let me change the layout to my tab. Let's talk about Joe Biden next. Alright, so Joe Biden, the president-elect. Great guy. Well, he for now. So, actually not even for now. This is what I'm about to say. So, this is what Joe Biden did this week. Apparently, he will not immediately roll back immigration and border restrictions of Trump's, meaning the kids will stay in the cages. Yeah. Which made this hilarious tweet very funny. Except it's not hilarious, it's horrifying. What a relief. My son just hugged me and said, Mommy, no more kids in cages. Tears of joy and tears of sadness. And then Joe Biden said, no, those kids are staying in cages, fam. I'm sorry. Yeah, and there's the Hill article. Yeah. And then he said he is unlikely to cancel the $50,000 in student loan debt via executive order, which he can do, but he's choosing not to because that's too hard, man. Because some people won't like it when I do that, guys. And he announced some cabinet positions, including Bruce Reed, who he is hiring. He will become the deputy chief of staff, and he has faced significant pushback from progressive groups because Bruce Reed promotes cuts to programs like Social Security, which is not cool. That's a bad thing. Like, we don't like that, so maybe don't have a position in this quarter. So yeah, push back against that. So yeah, that's how Biden's not been cool. Biden has also not said anything about the $2,000 check idea from Trump. He's said nothing. The most he's done today is posted a video of his dogs, which are cool, but can you talk about the $2,000? Because there have been reports that you talked Congress down into a smaller package. I know you denied those reports, but you not talking about this right away is suspicious. You're the president-elect. Do you support $2,000 checks or not? Please answer. Yes or no, or maybe. Yeah, so that's the stuff on Joe Biden. Okay. Next subject. Let's talk about, the Georgia Senate runoffs. So, there are two elections in Georgia. These will determine the fate of the Senate if it goes to a 50-50 majority with Kamala Harris being the deciding vote, or will it remain in Republican hands? So both of these guys need to win for it to be a 50-50 with Kamala Harris being the deciding vote. Apparently, Perdue is up by 1 point, or less than a point, 0.5%. Warnock is up by a point against Loeffler. So, yeah, that Perdue thing is scaring me, but it's in the margin of error, and also both Perdue and Loeffler are being treated as rhinos by the Republicans, because I think they acknowledge that Joe Biden is the president-elect, and Trump no likey that, so yeah, they're getting thrown some hot water. Also, both of them are against Perdue and Loeffler. Both of them are against $2,000 stimulus checks. Both Ossoff and Warnock are for it. Let me find those. Yep. Blah, blah, blah. And blah, blah, blah. There was an attack ad, or trying to be an attack ad against Warnock the other week. Here was, well, it wasn't an attack ad. It was like a video that got released and leaked. So here.
While others were sleeping, members of the United States Senate declared war and launched a vicious and evil attack on the most vulnerable people in America. Herod is on the loose. Herod is a cynical politician who's willing to kill children and kill the children's health program in order to preserve his own wealth and his own power. Hope is in the air, but Herod is on the loose. The hopes and the fears of all the years have met in thee tonight. And so on Friday night, the United States Senate decided by a slim majority to pick the pockets of the poor, the sick, the old, and the yet unborn in order to line the pockets of the ultra-rich. Don't tell me about gangsters and thugs on the streets. There are more gangsters and thugs in Washington, D.C., in the Capitol, than there are.
So I think that's awesome. Like, he's just calling them out, gangsters and thieves. They are. That just makes me hope he wins more. So, yeah, that probably made these poll numbers go a bit up, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So, those are the polls. Okay. Apparently Ossoff was... Also, polls don't matter. Just saying. 538 is pretty accurate, but still. We all know polls don't matter. Alright. So that's the update on the Georgia runoffs. Alright, let me switch my thing to a final thing I wanted to talk about. Did I put it here? Yeah, this was it. So I want to talk about... Oh, I forgot to open up one tab. Let me do that. Not Twitch, wrong thing. Alright, I want to talk about the movement known as Stop the Steal. I mean, not Stop the Steal. That's another thing. Force the vote. Force the vote. Yeah, that's what it's called. Anyway, the idea is that any one of these guys, any one of them, just a good majority of them, withhold their votes from Speaker Pelosi to confirm her as Speaker for the next Congress year set, unless she commits to a vote on Medicare for All. Okay? Now, I think Pelosi would go along with this, and in that she will have the vote and just be like, it won't pass, which it won't pass. I mean, people have pointed out, well, then you failed already because it won't pass. Yes, it won't pass. It just won't. But here's the thing. It not passing will cause momentum to happen. And, okay, people will be like, hey, why didn't a vote on Medicare for All pass in the middle of a pandemic? That would, like, give me health care. That'd be nice. Well, that's because Nancy Pelosi doesn't support it. And you might not have known. The average person might not have known that. You probably knew that, but the average person didn't. And they think, maybe we shouldn't have Pelosi in there. That'd be nice. We need to change the framework of thinking that Medicare for all is a losing issue, because the truth is it isn't. 69% of voters support Medicare for all. If you go with if you say Medicare for all, you win, okay? Every single Medicare for all supporter in Congress won their re-election campaign. All of them, including Katie Porter, +6 Republican district. So I don't know where in the hell this stigma of Medicare for all does not win, guys. It's a hot button issue, because it does win. Okay, 69% people support it. Okay, now Nancy Pelosi has a approval rating about 35%. That is close to the approval rating. That's not good. Okay, so any one of these people could easily take her. Now, there are a couple of people saying that this force the vote thing would be virtue signaling, and it won't really have an effect, and it's really just going, hey, you don't support the thing we support. Ugh. And like, yeah, but that's all politics, really, okay? Is it not virtue signaling when John Ossoff says David Perdue doesn't support stimulus checks? It's virtue signaling in a way, because he's like, hey, he doesn't support the thing I support. Doesn't that suck? Vote for me. Okay? So we need to get the message out that Nancy Pelosi does not support Medicare for all or any single-payer healthcare plan at all. Okay? Now, this block right here, the 35%, there are probably some in there who definitely support Medicare for all and definitely are like Yas Queen to Nancy Pelosi when she rips up a speech or something like that. So, yeah, there's that. So I feel like if you had a vote and they saw that vote and it went viral because, like, I don't know, AOC or Katie Porter decided to say something viral, they'd be like, hey, why didn't she vote on that? That seems neat. Yeah, like, that's it. And you might be thinking, well, we can't push them. The idea basically is to push the Democrats into thinking, hey, if I don't support Medicare for all, I will lose my election, instead of thinking, hey, if I support Medicare for all, I will lose my election. We need to change the framework of that. And the best example I can think of this is the Tea Party. Now, the Tea Party was a group of more right-wing Republicans who tried to take over Congress because they thought Republicans in Congress were not representing them. John Boehner and other House Republicans were not representing them. So they're like, all right, let's vote them out and primary them. And here's an example of how primarying a senator pushed them to the right. Okay, so this is John McCain in 2010. Okay, John McCain had a primary challenge after he introduced an immigration bill, and then the primary challenge was like, that immigration bill doesn't go far enough, and he went, okay, I'll rework it, and then he released this.
Drug and human smuggling, home invasions, murder.
We're outmanned. Of all the illegals in America, more than half come through Arizona.
Have we got the right plan?
Plan's perfect. You bring troops, state, county, and local law enforcement together.
And complete the dang fence.
It'll work this time. Senator, you're one of us.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
So, yeah, they push John McCain pretty far right. So I think we need to use basically the same strategy to push Nancy Pelosi and other Democratic Congress people more left, okay? That's how that works. That's how politics works, okay? We need to threaten them. We need to make them think, hey, I can lose my race. And we do that via spectacle, okay? And virtue signaling, okay? That's how that works, okay? Now, there are legitimate concerns to this strategy. I said them before, and I'm sure people in the comments will list them down there, and we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on force the vote. I 100% support it and really hope it goes through, but I also understand if AOC and other Justice Democrats are like, hey, that might not, they know something that we don't, but I think they should absolutely go along with it. And them thinking, hey, we don't have someone enough to challenge Pelosi for speakership is a dumb answer, because there's plenty of people that they could go to for speakership in the House. There's Barbara Lee. They could really just get the next one down. Hakeem Jeffries, like, he's ultra conservative like Pelosi, but still not Pelosi, who is, again, has a 35% approval rating. Okay? Like, that's the face of the Democratic Party, and she has about the same approval rating as Trump. That's not a good look for us. So yeah, there's that. Okay? So yeah, just change the image of the Democratic Party is the main part. So we need to change the stigma that Medicare for All is a losing issue, change it to it's a winning issue, and we do that by making it popular and making it a public spectacle, okay? And you might think, well, we're going to lose the vote. Yeah, we are. And losing the vote is going to build momentum. Okay? The Tea Party voted to repeal Obamacare like 50 times, and each time they gain more momentum. Okay? It's okay. Yeah. So there are my thoughts on that. I've talked about everything I wanted to. So, yeah. I'm going to end the stream right now. Oh, okay. So, there were some things I wanted to add real quick, okay, about the force the vote thing. So, one of the main complaints is, hey, Biden is working on a public option. You don't want to fuck that up. I'm like, good. Yeah, that's a good point. You know who else was working on public option? This guy, okay? In 2009, he had an idea to a single payer and or a public option, okay? At least a public option, okay? And he had plenty of seats to do it. Look at those seats. That's a lot of seats of Democrats. He could have easily passed that vote, okay? He could have easily passed the vote in the Senate. 56, okay? 56. Easily could have passed it. But a bunch of them were like, hey, maybe not. Maybe not. We don't want a public option. That doesn't sound good to us. Now, did he try to change their minds and push them left? No. So don't think Biden's going to do it either, especially when he has a less of a House majority and less of a state Senate, okay? Even if we get a public option through, do you think do you think Joe Manchin is going to vote for it? No, he's going to vote against it and be difficult, okay? And Biden's just going to pack up his shit and go home, okay? So, that's not going to work either. So, yeah, there's that point. I want to point that out. So, don't be like, hey, we don't have the numbers. Okay, get to work on that by pushing them left. Okay, by making them feel scared. Okay, so yeah, there's that. All right, I'm gonna stop the stream again.